Hey, it's Gary, and today I want to talk to you about procrastination, overcoming procrastination, getting more shit done in less time. Because I've spoken to a few people in my communities and asked the question of where were you at the end of last year compared to where you wanted to be and where you thought you would be when you started the year. And when I spoke to them about it, procrastination seems to have been the one thing that has got in most people's way. And this may go out as a Mortgage Pro podcast episode as well. We do that on a Thursday every single week, try and bring as much value as we can to business owners and mortgage advisors to help them get more stuff done. And I think the reason why most people avoid doing tasks or spend a lot of time procrastinating is actually, there's several reasons. I think one of them is the fear of failure. Or the fear of negative feedback, particularly when it comes to social media. The fear of actually taking on a new task and doing something different. What if it was to go wrong? That's something, I think, the fear of failure that stops people taking that relevant action. And I've been there in the past. What I'm going to talk to you about today is how I've managed to overcome procrastination, I feel, effectively and efficiently over the last 12 months. And I used to be scared. I used to worry about failing at particular tasks. But then I did my NLP training and it gave me that saying of there is no failure, there is only feedback. And actually, it's learning to fail forward is one of the analogies that's used. When you look at Richard Branson as being one of the wealthiest people on the planet with multiple businesses, hundreds of businesses, probably the amount that have failed outweighs the amount that have succeeded, but he wouldn't have had the successes without having had the failures. And another thing that stops people or is a cause for procrastination is perfectionism. Now, I've grown up in a household with parents who are borderline, that's probably a bit OTT, but OCD. They liked the shoes to be in pairs by the front door. When I'd finished my breakfast, it must not just go by the sink, it had to be in the dishwasher. All the things that I now moan at my parents about. But when it comes to doing a task, it was always a case of do it to the best of your ability. Make sure you get it right first time. And actually what I realized as I got older was the reason why you want to make sure that it's right the first time is because it's way more time consuming having to go back and correct the errors and the problems that you made. But that perfectionism to get it right first time can often cause you to procrastinate. Your hair's got to look good, your makeup's got to be done, you've got to be wearing the right clothes, you've got to have the right backdrop, you've got to be in the right setting. You can't just whip out your phone and do a quick video on social media. You might have a spot on your face, like this little one here, that stops you going out and doing your video. That perfectionism is what is stopping you getting the results that you want and getting more stuff done. So equally, when it comes to the social media side of things, there is that fear around looking stupid, which links into the perfectionism. We all fear looking stupid. But actually, you're making it about you rather than about the people that you're trying to serve and help and get the best results for. And when you actually make it about other people, that can equally help you. But when you think about the fear of failure, the perfectionism, the fear of looking stupid, all of these negative things that spiral and we go through, actually they cause us more frustration, more anxiety. We feel guilty for not doing not keeping the promises to ourselves and doing the things that we say we're going to do. Then we start stressing about it. And actually, the procrastination causes us more issues than anything else. And when you start to get the frustration, the anxiety, the guilt, the stress, the worry, you don't keep those promises to yourself, that actually starts to have a negative impact on your self-belief, your self-worth, your being. And the one thing I can attest to is the more action you take and the more you stop procrastinating, or the less you procrastinate, the more your self-esteem grows, the more your confidence grows, the more you actually are able to get more things done, and the less you begin to procrastinate. So I've got 8 things, 8 ways, 8 different things you can try in order to overcome procrastination that I think that have been massively key to me overcoming it, and how I've done that. And hopefully you can take some inspiration and some motivation to try these things in your own life, because everything I seem to be seeing at the moment is 2020 is gonna be the year. And I feel like 2020 is gonna be my biggest success. I feel like 2019 was it was my best year to date, but I feel like I can double everything this year because of the lessons and the learnings that I had in 2019. So I'm hoping that you are going to go all out this year, remove the BS that you tell yourself on a day-to-day basis, and actually start to go to that next level. Push yourself. Find out what the issues were within 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, and actually make that commitment to overcome them and to avoid them and to go to the next level. So the first thing around overcoming procrastination is actually the awareness, the self-awareness that you are procrastinating. Now, how can you become self-aware? How can you be mindful of the fact that you are procrastinating? Well, you need to, number two, write stuff down. In actually creating the list of things that you need to get done or what you're procrastinating about enables you to, one, remove them from your head, which gives you more brain space. But then equally it enables you to prioritize each individual task. And actually you become aware of what the priorities are, and therefore you can start to get the self-awareness around why you are procrastinating over each individual task. But then you can start to commit to make the change and to actually prioritize and to take the action and do the tasks that you need to do. Now, one of the things that you need to do when you're looking at that task list is actually to start to think about what you actually have to do. Are they your superpowers? Can only you do them? Or should you be delegating those tasks and getting somebody else to do them on your behalf? Because one of the things that I've certainly done is sat down and thought to myself, must I do this? Who else can do this? Right, who else can do this? Oh shit, I've got to do this. So if you start to put that 3-step rule in your day and in your task list, you're going to start to realize that actually you're probably doing things that you don't need to be doing and you could delegate. And the brain space and the time and the energy that you're going to free up is going to enable you to put that into more income generating activities. So number one is about self-awareness. Number two is about writing the tasks down and committing and prioritizing them to get them done. The third thing is going to be about having a plan and taking action. And that kind of comes in with the priority. But when you've actually written your task list and you've prioritized them, if you can then create a plan of all the little things that you need to do on a day-to-day basis, all the little steps and all the little tasks and all the little things that make up that task in itself, there might be 5 components for one task. Then you can start to take action on them. You can start to diarize them. You can start to actually move forward and get more done in less time. So having a plan and having an action and taking action, is absolutely key to getting results and removing that procrastination and that overwhelm around whatever it is that you're trying to avoid doing. Number 4 is actually once you've started to take the action and planned everything out and you're starting to see the results, don't forget, praise yourself, congratulate yourself, give yourself the pat on that back and reward yourself in some way, shape or form for getting it done. Now that doesn't mean just willy-nilly rewarding yourself every time you overcome procrastination, but take stock of the result. The reward can just be an extra hour off because you've got that job done. It could be, going to the gym another time if that's your favorite thing. You don't necessarily want to reward yourself with cake every single time because you might just end up getting fat. But think about what is going to be, if you have that goal as part of your plan and part of your action, then you're more likely to overcome that procrastination and actually get it done. And just having that little reward of leaving an hour early from the office, that's the one that I like the most. Or giving myself that extra half an hour in bed in the morning because I've managed to get the job done that I really needed to get done, or I delegated it out to somebody else. Actually, you start to enjoy delegating out those tasks and getting more stuff done. Number 5 is within your planning and within your praising, you're going to get good and bad. You know, everybody always plans for the good and maps out exactly how everything goes, but what bad things could happen? If you're aware of them before you actually start doing the task, then if they become a problem or if it happens, it's not as scary because your awareness was there. We are fearful of what we don't know or what we don't understand or what could or might happen. So as part of your planning process, if you write down, this is all the good things that can happen as a result of it, this is all the bad things or what could go wrong as a result of me doing it, you'll remove some of that fear around looking stupid, saying the wrong thing, tripping over your words, as I tend to do on a lot of my Facebook Lives and podcasts. You know, but people respect you more when you're just trying and actually doing it, because a lot of people won't get on and do it. So planning for the good and planning for the bad. Number 6 is about having accountability. I'm constantly banging the accountability drum. I had no accountability. I've made sure that I am surrounded by coaches, mentors, masterminds, peer groups, communities, putting a post out on my Facebook profile at 8:30 this morning to say I'm going to be live on my page at 9:30 to discuss procrastination. I've made a commitment. I've made a public declaration. Therefore, I'm committing externally, which is giving more accountability to doing this live and doing this podcast episode. Because the thing is, everybody wakes up every single day. And there are days where you just don't want to do stuff. Yes, there are days where I don't want to do social media. There are days where I don't want to get on the phone and I don't want to do videos. But the fact of the matter is, what gets you the best results and what makes you keep growing and go to the next level is doing the things that you don't want to do when you need to do them. If you go back on my podcast episode that I did with Mark Wright, the previous apprentice winner and owner of Climb Online, who's business partner with Alan Sugar, he talks about on there the fact that he does a lot with Grant Cardone, and he's done a lot of training and held a lot of events and spoken on stages with him and everything else. Grant Cardone's massive. On the road to being a billionaire, he's got a jet, he's constantly here, there and everywhere. And he told Mark that yes, some days he just doesn't want to get his phone out. It doesn't matter what level you are at, whether you are starting out, whether you are in the beginning of your journey, whether you're a seasoned pro, whether you've been at it a long time. There are days where you just don't want to do it. There are days when you feel like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 rather than an 8 or a 9 out of 10. But what gets you the results is the consistency of doing the things that you need to do when you don't want to do them. So having that accountability, the public declaration, the coach, the mentor, the person who's been there and done it and got the t-shirt, who can give you the simplistic steps, being part of a mastermind where you sit down every month with like-minded individuals and you overcome your challenges much, much quicker, but you make a declaration of what you're going to do in the next month. If you come to the next mastermind meeting and you haven't made any progress or haven't done the things that you said you were going to do, you are going to look stupid in front of the 6, 7, 8 to 12 people that are in front of you. That gives you the accountability. But equally, coupled with that, within a mastermind environment, you're all on the same journey. You're all there to support each other. You help each other get more done. So if you are having that struggle, then you've got the community and the accountability and the support to turn around and say, look, I just don't want to get this done. I made the declaration at the last mastermind, but I'm really, really struggling to be able to do it. And you've got the team that push you to go and get it done and make it happen. So that's probably one of the longer ones, was the accountability, but I think it is just massive. And I think that is one of the biggest things to achieving the successes that you want to achieve, and equally overcoming your procrastination. Number 7 is my preferred 3-strike rule. And that 3-strike rule is absolutely key. Now, I may have spoken about this before, you may have heard this before, but one of the things is often people turn around and say you shouldn't say yes too much, because then you're creating too much of a to-do list and you are getting yourself to the point of overwhelm. You're committing yourself, you're spreading yourself too thin. Well, my 3-strike rule is basically just a process of turning around. If I have an idea 3 times, then I have to take action on it. If I wanted to remove a member of my team and it's stressing me out or causing me frustration, anxiety, worry, whatever it might well be, and I have that thought 3 times, then I must take action on it, because it's something that my brain is prioritizing, because I'm waking up thinking about it. I'm going to sleep thinking about it. You know, one of the big things I'm doing at the moment is looking to recruit a personal assistant. You know, email management. I get roughly 100 emails a day. That takes me a lot of time. Booking my appointments, holidays, event planning, checking people into events, sending emails. I'm interviewing today for 6 or 7 different PAs. Not that I need 6 or 7, but I'm interviewing 6 or 7 PAs to hopefully find one, because that brain space that's going to create is ultimately going to help me go to the next level personally. It's going to give me more free time. It's going to enable me to focus on more income generating tasks. But I didn't just make that decision. I had a thought, I'm doing too much shit here. So I created my priority list of the stuff that I'm doing that isn't actually helping me move forward and get more results. And I created that list. I then just left that list alone and I stepped away from it. And then I woke up the next day and thought, Christ, man, I've got so much on my plate today that I've still got to actually do. You know, and 3 times I had that thought, and then I posted on Facebook about doing it. And we got 36 job applications to be a PA, and I've got 10 shortlisted that I'm going to be talking to and interviewing. So it doesn't matter what area of your life it is. If you know that you're procrastinating over the gym, but you constantly keep thinking about the fact that you should, would, could, need to be in the gym, then you need to take action and go and start going to the bloody gym. You know, whatever it might well be, having that 3-strike rule enables you to go right back to the beginning of what I said. It helps you with the self-awareness and actually making sure that you start to take that action. So my 7 ways that you can overcome your procrastination are: number 1, have the self-awareness. How do you get the self-awareness? Well, number 2 is you write down your task list and you commit to getting them done. Number 3 is you create a plan and you start to take action on that plan. Number 4 is you praise yourself and reward yourself when you do overcome the procrastination and you get more done. Just giving yourself that little bit of a pat on the back is good for your mindset, your self-esteem, your self-worth to get more done in less time. Number 5 is about planning for the good and for the bad. Things will go wrong and they will want to stop you, and you will procrastinate about doing the next thing. But if you've had the self-awareness to make yourself aware of what that could be at the very beginning, then you're going to be able to overcome it. Number 6 is about the accountability. Mentors, masterminds, coaches, peer groups, whatever it ever might be. Public declarations of this is what you are going to do. And number 7, my 3-strike rule. If you think it 3 times, you've got to take action on it, or cut it out, or remove the negativity, or focus on the goodness. And actually, that's probably a good little number 8, or a good little bit of a closer. But I think often when you're looking at the procrastination side of things, you know, talking to yourself and using negative language is one of those things that you are really going to find beneficial if you remove that negative language. Saying, I should be doing this, I could be doing that. You know, should, would, could, need to. They're all words that put you under pressure. No one says you need to do anything. It's your life, it's your decision. No one says you could be. Yes, you could be. Well, why aren't you? You know, but removing that negative doubt, removing that self-talk and that negative doubt, I think that's what I meant, removing the negative self-talk and the doubt, crikey, I'll get it right in a minute, then actually what that means is you're just actually going to focus on positive language, the things that are going to help you to get more results. So, I can't do this. No, you can't do this now. You can't do this yet. It's not a priority yet, but I'm going to make it a priority, and I'm going to focus on what I need to do in order to be able to move forward. So trying to remove negative language, removing people who are around you, who drain your energy, who stop you from doing the things that you want to do, achieving what you want to do, not supporting you. You know, your friends are the people who are not going to like your social media posts, for example. It's one of the first things I'd say when I teach social media and people say to me, yeah, but I've got all my friends and family on social media. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is your friends and family are your friends and family. They're in your phone, they're on your WhatsApp. They're not going to like, comment or share your stuff. When you actually start utilizing social media, you're going to find an audience of people who know, like and trust you. And I guarantee they're not going to be your friends, and your biggest advocates are going to be friends online that you meet that are going to start to share your stuff. So fearing putting yourself out there on social media is actually stopping you finding your new audience who are going to be able to help you get to that next level. And I've digressed and diversified onto a completely different topic, which we'll use for another podcast episode or Facebook Live. But I just want to say thank you very much indeed for tuning in. I have seen the likes and the thumbs ups coming along onto this video. If you're listening to this as a Mortgage Pro podcast episode, then make sure that you come and find me on all the social media channels. Wherever you prefer to hang out, I am on there at Gary Das. I would love to know what your favorite episode is, what content you want from me. You know, I push my comfort zones. There are days where I don't want to do content. So helping, inspiring, motivating and educating you is my goal and my purpose, and the reason why I do the things that I don't want to do. Even when I know I need to do them, I still do them because it's for you, not for me. But obviously it helps me as well, because having that commitment to myself is what enables you to move forward, as we've already discussed today. So I'm going to shut up. Thank you very much indeed for tuning in. I'll see you again soon on another live, another Mortgage Pro podcast episode. And remember, now is the time to become pro.